Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station. And today, well, we got the holidays coming up. I guess it's only appropriate that we have an angel join us here today, right?
That's right. That's right. Welcome, everybody, again to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Senior Vice President John Gutierrez, and we're excited to have another special guest with us today because Lucy Rubalcava is somebody that leads the Lucy's Angels Foundation, which has been bringing joy around the world and helping kids, orphanages, and providing them shelter, food, and many resources from a healthcare standpoint and educational standpoint. And so Lucy's one of the many organizations we love to support. And so we want to welcome today Lucy Rubalcava.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for having me on the show. It's really nice to be here.
No, we're excited to have you. And for those of viewing the show and not listening to the show, but just also viewing it, in front of us, we have a cute little reindeer here. And I think the other one's a cow. And these are from PetSmart that every year for the past, I want to say at least 5-6 years, they've been donating thousands of these to us. So thank you to PetSmart because many of these not only go through our communities here in Orange County, but actually, Lucy, you've sent me photos from many places, right? Like with these in like Mexico, all over.
Yes, Johnny. Well, thank you, PetSmart, and thank you, Johnny, for being part of it. Yes, we do take them. Thank you for all the donations. I usually take more than 100, so he started giving me a little bag of 50, then 100, and now it's like hundreds. Last year we were able to donate almost 1,000 to 1,000 kids, so that's amazing. We take them, we usually go down to Tijuana, Mexico. People always say, why do we go and cross the border? It's usually an hour and a half from here. And it's just amazing to be able to deliver these little toys, and the kids get so excited over there. So we do take them across the border to orphanage, schools with special need kids, with special education, and really poor communities in need in Tijuana. And also we're able to take them all the way to Sonora too. We found another community where it's the Yaquis, the Indian community, that we have to ask permission to get in there to deliver these toys to the kids. And it's just been such a blessing to have you supporting me all the time.
Well, listen, it's not just myself. I want to say it's an army of, just community leaders that have been supporting our toy drive for years now. I think the toy drive here at the Chamber has been going around at least almost 10 years. I think that's when I met you also, almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, we met each other, I think 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started with a little orphanage, and that's how Johnny met me, invited me one of the toy drives, and they donated all the toys for my kids at the orphanage. And that was 50 kids, and that's how we started 10 years ago with 50 kids, and now it's more than 1,000 kids. Thank you to everybody that supports me now.
Wow, 50 kids she started with, now it's 1,000 kids. And I got to say, I remember when we first started donating, just to kind of go back a little bit, I think what hit me really hard was when you said that some of these kids, of course, and let's just be clear, folks, up front, a lot of these kids need more than just toys. I mean, toys is probably the last thing that they're looking for. I mean, a lot of these kids are very, very poor, and they're looking more for, food and resources, possibly a better education, right? But I know what hit my heart really deep was when you shared with me a story of when the kids just wanted regular milk because they were so tired of drinking powder milk. Or not tired, but it's just regular milk is a luxury for them, right? So when you told me that story, like that really resonated with me because it made me feel like we take things for granted, like here, right, in the United States, that sometimes we don't realize we have that so easy to access.
I know, it gets really touching every time I tell this story. I think I always get in tears just because the kids will get so excited just to know that I was going to come in, and the toys is just a gift for them, but they will always ask for food, and they will always be like, Mom, because they will call me Mom, and there were 50 kids, and they'd be like, Mom, are you bringing milk and donuts? And for me, it was just like, Yes, I'll bring real milk and donuts because these kids, like Johnny mentioned, they don't have the resources of having real milk. They usually have powdered milk, and we had to mix it with water. And I didn't even know those things still exist. I thought it was only for formula. And now these orphanage kids will get so excited just to have milk and the table. It was such a blessing. So I remember, Johnny, when I told you, I couldn't hold my tears every time I used to talk about this because it was very touching to me.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to understand that a lot of these children, uh, it's not by choice, that they're in this situation, right? It's unfortunate. And we don't get into all the whys. Why are they in this situation? We don't get into all that. For us, it was like, I remember when you shared the stories with us, and I said, hey, let's build an army of people around you from our Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, from our friends, from our community. And let's see how different people can help you in different ways. And I know our friend John Amador has been there several times, and some of our other members have been there. Um, I personally have not been there, and I know you always ask me that the kids ask for me and that I should go. And there's a reason behind it. And I've always shared with you and everybody else that it's because I have boys of my own, and I'm so focused on them right now growing up that I know that if I was to go, I would, the person that I am, I would just, it would break my heart, and I would just want to be there like all the time, right? And I think that's what's happened to you, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I started 15 years ago, and I started with my son. He was 8 years old. And that's the reason why I started going to this orphanage. I went to one of the events that it was in LA for Corazón de Vida. That's one of the biggest organizations they have. I have so much respect for that lady, Mickey Wavy. And they invited me to this nonprofit event. And I remember it was $100 a ticket to go. And I went and I saw the amazing work they did. And we always donated. I come from a family that we always donate every Christmas. Since I remember, we always donated anything we could to needed families. And I went and I saw it and I said, you know what? I want to start doing something for my son so he can learn how to give back. We're so blessed for everything we have here. And it was me, a young girl with an 8-year-old kid, that started looking for an orphanage. And I found this orphanage through one of my friends. And I started going, asked permission to be part of it. And it just stole my heart. And these kids now, it's been 15 years ago. A lot of them already graduated. A lot of them are married because I met them very little. Some of them I had to change the diapers. Now they're like 16 years old, and I had to
Wow.
change the diapers for a lot of those little kids. So they just became my kids, and that's how I started this. And it was just an amazing. I couldn't stop going. I had to go back at least once a week at the beginning because I just felt I had to go and bring them milk and people. I would just tell them my stories or see pictures that I would post, and I say this is real life that is happening an hour and a half from us. And I just felt that I had the need. It was a calling for me, and that's how I started.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Johnny.
I've always shared at the toy drives that obviously we help many organizations here. The Santa Boys Club, TKO Boxing, Orangewood Foundation, Latino Health Access, you name it. I mean, there's tons of organizations that we help throughout the Orange County, Santa Ana especially area because of the low income communities. But I tell you folks, you've never seen poverty until you've seen or heard the stories that Lucy shares through her foundation. Because throughout the years, things have happened where she'll like suddenly call me and say, hey, John, it's getting really cold, and it's this cold season, and unfortunately the kids are in need of socks or shoes or sweaters or blankets, right?
Remember that time, Johnny?
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to share this little story with you. I was having this conversation with Johnny about the toys because he was always so worried because now we're friends, but more than friends, we become family. I love his wife. He comes from a great family too. I love his mom. And we were having this dinner and I was telling Johnny, I was like, you know, Johnny, I went to the orphanage and there was this little girl that she kept looking at my shoes. And I said, what size are you? Of course, she didn't know what size she was. And I was like, why? I'm like, take out your shoes and try my shoes. So I took my shoes off. And I told the little girl, try my shoes. I'll give them to you. And she didn't want to take them out. And she's like, no, no. And I was like, why not? And she keeps saying, no, no. And it was because she had no socks. And I told Johnny that completely broke my heart to know that this little kid's, and it's really cold. In winter over there, it gets really cold. Tijuana, it's one of the places that it gets really cold. So I was telling Johnny that story, and he just got in tears. And he's like, how many socks do we need? And I said, you know what? It's not only the orphanage, it's this family. They live in really poor communities that they don't even have any toilets. They don't even have anything. They don't have electricity. They have nothing. And they're in so much need. It is so cold. I'm like, I would like to give them socks because we always lose our socks. And you're always cold and we always lose our socks. And Johnny's like, okay, how many socks do we need? And I said, I don't know, how many can you get? And I don't, how many we got? 500 pair of socks in 2-3 days?
It was amazing. I just started, texting a lot of our friends from our chamber. And you know who you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was just like domino effect, right? Boom, 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 boom. It was just like people were like, "Can you come by? I'll go buy some right now." And before you know it, it was like I was going even to like Riverside and other places to pick up, people buying brand new socks to donate for the kids. And there's a picture we have on social media, and I mean, it was hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands. I don't know. It was a lot of socks.
A lot of socks.
And it was like within like a matter of 24 hours that everybody just stepped up and donated these socks.
Thank
and
you.
Something so simple, right? Socks. You think we take that for granted. You go into your closet and you have maybe bags of socks, old socks, new socks, you name it. But you don't realize the value of keeping your feet warm, right? How that is so important to a child.
Well, not nowadays. We started with the socks. It was just a conversation, and like I said, 24 hours. Johnny says I was leaving the next day, and he's like, I have 24 hours to get you the socks. I was gonna go deliver by then because he's been helping me. We started with 50 kids, and now it's like thousands of kids in communities. I had to leave the next morning, and he's like, I'll get him for you in 24 hours. And he got home, and at 11:30 at night, and I'm still packing, and we sit on my living room and start counting every pair of socks so we can know how many socks we were able to give out.
Yeah,
and to thank all of you guys, because this happened in 24 hours, and I know he was driving all the way to
Well, I think because
Riverside.
you were going to leave, right? You had to leave
next day,
the next day. So it was just a matter of how soon we could collect all these socks before you had to leave. And a lot of it, for those of you that don't know, when you're going to Baja California, TJ, there's those of you that go, it's tough, right? Because the lines are super long. It's quite the drive. And here's Lucy driving down there within this 24-hour period. And her vehicle is only so big, right? So she can only take so many things, which is a whole different story, and all the challenges that I've heard that have happened to you when we get donations, right? Fast forward today, she's actually built a great infrastructure, right? I mean, her system's in place now compared to back then. You have some people that help you now that are driving up there that have big vehicles, right? So if anybody donates, it makes it easier for her to transport things up there, as opposed to before you were going in your vehicle, and it was just challenging for you, right? Because here's your little vehicle full of not only the socks we're trying to give you, but blankets and other stuff that you're trying to take, or shoes. And so you can only take certain things all together, right? And so kudos to you. And not only that, but the team you've built, right? That helps you over there. And of course, again, I see many of the photos, many of the videos, and I know many of our friends have been up there with you.
It's been such a blessing, Johnny, because doing this, I remember we started with the orphanage, and I started getting calls from people when I saw that I was going myself to deliver everything that we get. Everything is delivered. Every toy, every blanket, every bag of food, everything gets delivered. So people started knowing about me because of you guys too, and a lot of people from the chamber. Thank you so much for always being such a great support. I'm very blessed with all your blessings. And we started with 50, then it was the next year it was 100 toys, 200 toys, and I just decided, you know what, it can be more than one orphanage. We can go to 2 orphanage. We can go through communities, and going through that communities, we discover there's a lot of special need kids over there that they don't get because there's special education. They don't have schools for kids with special educations, and started helping this school, and this school's name is Cares, and it's a really nice school that they have over there. Like I mentioned, there's no schools for special need kids, and now we do their Christmas parties, and now we're just building up, and from being 50 now 1,000, and be able to deliver. Otherwise, it's just been such a blessing. A lot of work, but it's a teamwork. I don't take the credit. I think I should give the credit for everyone that makes the call and everybody that donates. I'm just an instrument to take things there. And I always tell Johnny, it's just giving out smiles. It's a lot of work, but it's so fulfilling to be able to give out.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when I showed, like one of our donors, PetSmart photos that you would send me of the children holding these teddy bears, right? Like these people that work at the PetSmart stores, they're just busy working, everyday people, but they gotta, hustle for these and get them to donate to us, to our foundation. But when I show them the photos and I tell them the stories that you tell me, that you share with me, you could see how you're blessing them. Like, they're just like, wow, John. And throughout the years now, they always ask me, do you have any more photos? Do you have any more stories? When I go see them, and our friend Lupe from PetSmart, shout out to her and her team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lupe.
Yeah, for donating so many of these. And not only that, but, I want to also give a big shout out to, Father Jesse, who's also over there, right?
Yes.
He's somebody that's part of your guys' team. He's part of a church out there, right? And I've met him a few times. And I know him and John Amador, our former chairman of our board, one of our longtime, obviously, board members. Now they have a good relationship, and
I just feel I feel that like little angels helping each other. Like I said, it takes a teamwork. And John Amador went first to the orphanage when I started with the orphanage, and that was like 7 years ago. And he just fell in love with this cause. It is just such a beautiful thing to do every year. And then we met Father Jesse, that he has a great system over there to help the needed people. He's in Oblato, and he goes to this really poor communities, and he finds the people that they're in so much need, and he brought us along, and he made us part of his group. So it's not only me, it's not a solo, it's just a whole teamwork that we do now.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm sharing with you stories of throughout the years that I've known Lucy, when we've been collaborating with, supporting her with all this. And I never forget the video you showed me once of the famous actor from the show The West Wing. God, what's his name, Paul? Do you remember? He plays the president.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video Lucy shows me one day. This is years ago. And Martin Sheen is sitting in a chair far away, and he has a bag, and he's just donating like these little cute little toys. And I know he's a big supporter, and he's somebody that helps a lot out over there. But the way he was sitting there, just in plain old clothes, with no, people around him, like protecting him or bodyguards. And this is Martin Sheen, who, right, Paul? He comes from an amazing acting family.
Actor. Yeah,
huge actor.
Charlie Sheen,
right? All those guys. And this man is just sitting there at this big community event that they're all a part of. And he's just there, like, you can tell, he's like, kind of just, leave me alone. I just want to do good, right? Like, I'm there for the reason.
Exactly.
Right?
Imagine this celebrity, this gentleman, being there, sitting in this area, and being just one of us, because we're all the same.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I got to sit next to him, and I said, really? I said, God bless you. And he's like, no, God bless you, Lucy. I was like, well, it's such an honor to be next to you and to know that.
One of my favorite actors, by the way.
That's exactly what he
I love
said.
that show, West Wing.
How did you even reach out to him or get him involved?
No, he was part of the community there already, because this community is so big, so I only get a piece of the community because it's so big. There's thousands of people.
Yeah.
So
But if you guys saw the videos and the photos that Lucy has when they're organizing everything, like, there's bags, and in these bags, share with everybody what's in them. A little bit of everything.
it's it's just amazing.
It has
Like,
rice, right? There's like
yes.
beans, rice, bags of food, right?
So I started going to the communities. My first thing was to give out toys for Christmas. And when I went to these communities, I will ask the kids, what would you like for Christmas? What would you like for Christmas? And the kids will say food. And I'll be like,
Wow.
do you want a car? Do you want to know? And there was a video that I show you. There's like, this is so funny because there's a little orphanage kids. And he's like 4 years old. And I said, what would you like for Christmas? And he's like, calzones. And I was like,
That means underwears.
I was like, what? And I just like, we
Yeah.
were videotaping him, and I thought it was like, okay, we will get you some.
Yes.
And I was like, but I will always ask him, would you
Yeah.
like a toy? What would you like? A truck, a dinosaur? I don't know. And they always ask for food. So when it became for food, I just said, these people are in so much need that they want food. So I said, you know what, Johnny? I know I always give out toys, but now I'm going to start giving food.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
bag of food. And for the last few years, I don't know, maybe 10 years, I started giving bags of food. And I will ask for donations for a bag of food. Back in the days was $15 a bag of food.
Yeah.
And they'll be so excited just to see what was in this bag of food. So we give the essentials, that is rice, beans,
Yes.
tomato cans, but I also add cookies and milk and jam and bread and cereal, because these kids don't even have the chance
Yeah.
to even have this stuff. So you should see them how excited they get when they see the cereal, the cookies. They're not even looking at the toys no more, that the toys are always welcome because it's Christmas.
Mr. Paul Roberts has a question. I'm sorry, Lucy.
I'm in awe listening to this story. Tell us what it's like to be an orphan in Mexico, because we had somebody come on, Dr. Trin, who goes and
Yeah.
handles orphanages
Yeah.
in his home
Yeah.
country of Vietnam, and he said, you're not just dealing with people in a third world country, you're dealing with people who are outcasts, who otherwise would be living on the streets if their parents died. If there's no family, they're alone. They're street kids.
Exactly. It's just these kids, every kid that I met at the orphanage, I don't know if it's right for me to say it, every single kid has a trauma. And it's very hard because you need to be mentally prepared to be able to look at their face and say, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And have a smile, even though you're choking and you're like, wow,
But-
what's going to happen to these kids?
To be honest, Lucy, that's the feeling I had when you first showed me videos and photos, and you can just see their skin, right? How it looks leathery, kind of like just old and beat up from, not having a good, healthy life, right? As we all know, if you're not eating well, if you're not, right, that's going to affect your skin and just the way they look. And obviously, like Lucy's given many examples of them not having
Who
food.
pays for all this? I mean, does the state support orphanages, or is it church, or are many kids not even in an I get the picture that this is just a tiny drop in a bucket of a bigger problem here.
Exactly, yes. Well, most of the orphanage and TJs are owned by the government. So the government gives them just a little bit,
Just enough, right?
just for the beans, for a bag of beans of rice.
Yeah.
So everything else comes from donations. They are, I don't know exactly how many orphanages that are registered, but a lot of them, they're not registered. So we always try to go to this orphanage that we're going to give ourselves, and we're going to keep going back. So the kids know that there's someone that believes in them, someone that delivers love. And there's so many orphanage and TJs.
And what happens to these kids when they grow up? At some point, they have to age out of the system. For
Exactly.
example, not to go into deep stories again, but people have heard the story of my daughter before. Here, we adopted her from foster care here. She was born in a little village in Mexico and brought over illegally and
God
beat up
bless you
and fell
for
into
that.
foster care. A horrible story, but had a happy ending. And in foster care, there's about 500,000 kids roughly,
Yes.
more or less. And half of them never go home to anybody. And most of those kids end up out on the street and they become drug addicts or prostitutes or other stuff because there's no life skill there. There's no support mechanism. They don't know. There's no education. There's no opportunity. So if they don't get adopted out, they often end up in terrible
Paul,
situations.
But that's the reason why, to be honest, for me, I can share from the outside, somebody that's been supporting and helping out. I don't even get into all that because that's a bigger picture, right? That's a huge picture. You're
just trying to solve today's problem, right?
Well, we're not going to solve that problem because it's a huge picture. It's a huge problem, right? You're talking about a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah, for all these kids, I believe for all these kids at the orphanage that we see them, it's just what happens to them, like you said, Paul, just make it very short. It's just once they turn 18, they have to kick them out of the system because it's sad to say it is someone less. But think about it, like you're saying, these kids don't even have a family. They don't have a family to go to Thanksgiving.
Right.
They don't have no one to come in Christmas. They have no one. So,
But I want to make sure we clarify this. Lucy is not just bringing toys and food and essentials and resources. She has now opened her own school, which is amazing. Her and her team have opened their own school. Small,
this is
but
very
mighty. Small but
yes.
mighty, right?
It's so much. I every year I ask God to give me strength to be able to help more people and to open doors for me to put the right people, especially for this orphanage kids that need so much love. And I try to bring them love and faith, and not for them to lose their faith and become worth it of themselves, especially when they're going to become being by themselves. So yes, I did open. Someone invited me to be part of this school and to be the founder, and I say great, let's do it. It's not a big school, it's a really small school. It's for special need kids too, and kids with special needs, and they need psychology, they need therapies, they need, so it's very small. It's called Casa Ángeles de Luz. My foundation is Lucy's Angels, and it was very excited when they called me and told me if I want to be the funder of this school. I said yes, I would love to. I just feel it's one of my callings. Yes, let's do it.
But I think, Lucy, by you doing that and you guys having the school now, the most powerful thing we can give any human being, right, is an opportunity and education, because all it takes is one or two of those kids that grew up in that school to hopefully make it in life, right, and make it out of that challenging life, and they're going to come back, right, and they're going to come back, and then others will come back, and then they'll continue to help, right? And so we can't depend that the government in Mexico is going to fix this problem.
No,
it's almost like we have to find a solution within, right? And I love that you've opened your own school. I just want to, before, I know time's running by fast, but I want to share a story that I think really touched my heart. And I don't know if this happened last year or the year before, but I know after our toy drive one year, you and John Amador did something really cool for the kids. You guys took them to like dinner or something. Can you share that story? And they got all dressed up and right?
And that's my orphanage kids, the first orphanage that I started 15 years ago, because the kids now are already older. That orphanage kids is 50 kids, and well, of course, a lot of them are already out, but they're still going to school. So I think my purpose for everything that I've been doing is to give them love, give them smiles, and give them hope, and teach them how to love each other and how to respect. And I just feel if you teach human beings to do that, everything will become easier in life. So now that they're getting older, I say, you know what? We always make them a big posada with piñatas and anything they want, tacos, payasos, clowns, everything. We will make them every year. But as they got older, I say, you know what? I want them to have the opportunity to dress up and to go to the real world and to be ready to go and look nice and be part of the real world, not to be part of an orphanage the whole time, because they go to school and then come back and they're in an orphanage, four walls around them. So we decided to start doing that with John Amador, and he has a really good friend that I would like you to mention him to, Hank, that he's been amazing by donating so much.
Shout out to Hank.
Oh, Hank, God bless you for everything you do for us. So yes, we decided to, the last Christmas that we had, to dress him up, take him to a nice restaurant, and have him nice dinners, chicken, steak, anything, and dress him up. And we had people donating their outfits, and we brought them to a nice restaurant and sit them out and have someone serve them their food, and it was really nice. So this last few years, I had a few people donating. I have another friend, his name is Jaime Ornelas. Thank you for all his family. They donated a few years ago too for their dinners. Another one, I have so many people to Frankie, so many people to thank.
But I think what was cool about the dinner that I heard was just their faces.
Oh my God.
The way their faces lit up, right? And the way they felt in their nice, suit or whatever it was they were dressed in. And they were going to this nice dinner restaurant. And people don't realize that something like that can impact a human being for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives. I'll tell you right now, people always ask me, why do you do these toy drives? Why do you? Because they take a lot of work. They take a lot of time. People don't realize all the work that goes behind it, right? And I tell them, when I was a kid and my dad was a landscape worker, and I get very emotional telling this story because my dad couldn't afford to buy us toys. My mom, it was 5 of us, and it was hard for my parents financially. And I never forget when my dad came home from work one day, and he had this big cardboard box, and it was really cool that he said, "Hey, my boss at work gave me this. They were from his kids, and they're grown up now, and they don't want them." And I remember walking over to this box, and it was the whole He-Man collection, and it was old and beat up, and it had the Gray Skull, and it had He-Man, and these were all toys that I had seen on TV that I had dreamed for years of having one, much less a whole box of them, right? And I remember as a kid that to this day, I don't forget that day. Like how happy I was. I played with these things every day. I played football with them, I kept them for years. I passed them on to my nephews years later. But one special moment and can really impact a child. It impacted me, something so simple like that. And I think that's now why I love to give back and help kids. So to your point, you taking them out to dinner, you bringing them real milk for the first time, right? You having them experience now in the new school you've opened, right? Because I remember you telling me some of these kids don't have the opportunity for a good education. I remember when you used to tell me that, right?
It's now some of these kids, most of these kids don't have even a chance to go to school. And like you're saying about this used toys, we do take all new toys and everything for Christmas, but there's sometimes in the middle of the year that we take clothes and used toys, and you should see the faces of these kids. They're so appreciated and so thankful for anything we give them. And the best thing of everything is, I get emotional.
Yeah.
Let me drink some water.
It's all right, Lucy. While you're getting some water,
You're going to get all of us crying here in a minute.
God, I'm so sorry.
Listen.
It's just tears of happiness for being so grateful. It's when I'm leaving and I already finished the whole
mission.
The whole mission that I did. I said,
yeah.
Thank you, God. This year we were able to give 300 people bags of food, because it does. Before it was $15, then it was $20, now it's $35.
Yeah.
And to give blankets, because not only we give blankets, socks, we give blankets to older senior people.
Yeah.
We not only kids, we concentrate on kids, but we also concentrate on older senior people, and especially kids. So now,
especially cold weather,
yes,
it's hard for them.
And that's why the whole group that comes with me now, I'm very thankful, because it takes a whole army to do this and put the bags and buy the food and everything. Imagine packing 300 bags of food from all these people that come with me. And when we're leaving, the kids come to you and touch you and say, thank you so much. Are you guys coming next year? Are you guys coming next year? I was like, yes, we are coming next year. And it's just seeing them to come and thank you for every single thing, even the little toy, just a bag of food. And it's just so fulfilling.
You don't realize how important, a bag of rice, a bag of beans. You don't realize how precious we are, how lucky we are to have socks.
Things we throw away so casually.
Exactly.
So little choice.
Exactly.
As you wrap up here, I'm reminded of the starfish story. Have you all heard the famous starfish story? Little boy's walking on a beach, we'll say Mexico, could be anywhere, any resort, and he's picking up little starfish as they wash up from the beach. Because they'll die if they don't go back in the water, right? So he's picking them up and he's throwing them. And there's thousands of them after this big storm. And this old man walks up to him and he says, "What are you doing, kid?" He said, "I'm trying to save some of these starfish." He said, "There's thousands of them. You can't save them all." He said, "But I can save this one."
Yes.
He throws it
And
back
that's
in.
true, guys. It's really about, December 5th is our annual tour drive, which is next week. It's coming up, depending on when you watch this show. If you want to reach out to Lucy, leave a comment here. You can reach out to her also on social media, Lucy Rubalcava. And we'll leave her information here. We'll tag her. But, our toy drive, is December 5th. And obviously we help a lot of organizations throughout Orange County. But her organization is one of the ones we try to also help out as much as we can with as much as we're able to do. This year, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Lendistry, Kaiser, Kroger, Commercial Bank of California, Mint Insurance, Herrera Financial, and Teresa's Jewelry. I just want to say thank you to our sponsors of our tour drive and Spoon's Restaurant for hosting us. because, at the end of the day, and Andy Vargas, who was here last week, by the way, Paul, Andy Vargas from the Carlos Santana band, he will be performing.
The singer for Carlos Santana band.
The lead singer for Carlos Santana will be performing that night at our toy drive.
That's really cool.
So he wants to be a part of this. He wants to help out. So thank you, Andy Vargas. And, just thank you to everybody, our board, our team, everybody that comes together. Obviously, John Amador, he's been trying to support for years, and many of our other friends. Thank you so much, because it really takes an army. It really takes a team. Our ambassadors are always helping us out throughout events. And even when I text them and, hey, I need to collect this or I need to collect that. So it really takes an army. It really does.
Yes. I just wanted, because I know we don't have that much time.
And an angel to lead the army.
Hey, yeah, I call her Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, man.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say that not everything is tears. I know we get emotional by seeing all these things, but at the end, the results, it's just giving out smiles. I always tell everybody, it's like, it takes a lot of time and work, but the feeling that you feel of seeing all those smiles and all those people happy. I do remember the little story you said. People say, Lucy, you can't change the world. No, I can't. But I can change one or two people's lives.
Even if it's just for a moment.
Even if it's just it changes my life all the time. I just feel so fulfilled. It changed my whole family. My whole family's part of it. Now my son is just a big part of it. And I'm just so grateful that everybody's a big support. So not everything is, I feel that there's a lot more happy times, because I see so many beautiful smiles, so many more people being grateful.
No matter what, I think the blessing is in return, right?
Yes.
They're blessing us, these children, because
my God, yes.
when you tell me the stories, when you show me the pictures, the videos, man, to me it hits me deep, and it says, and then I show it to the people, obviously, that are helping out. So, first and foremost, thank you, Lucy.
So how do they support it? Do they go to the toy drive? Does there place a website where you got a million people, crying at home, want to write a check, want to buy something?
Yes, leave a comment.
You can contact Johnny too.
I will connect you with Lucy. They know how to reach me.
Yeah.
Lucy has her Instagram that you can follow her, right, Lucy?
Yes.
Is there a website or anything people can go to?
We were doing a website. Yes, we do, but it's not working right now. But everybody can contact Johnny or me. Everybody can see my Instagram. I post all the pictures.
And what's the Instagram handle?
It's
just your name?
Yeah, no, it's my name is LucyRumv and Victor, Lucy Ru, and they can find me there.
Yeah.
He can tag me in there.
Lucy Rubalcava.
Rubalcava.
So R-U-V, not R-U-B?
What's that?
RUVS and Victor, yes. LucyRuvs and Victor,
Okay.
yes.
Yes. And again, if you want to donate, if you want to help out, just reach out to us here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We'll connect you with Lucy and her foundation and all the great things that she's doing. And I also want to make sure we thank all those other organizations that are doing this, even in Orange County, with foster care programs. We obviously work with like Orangewood and Olive Crest and the Santa Boys and Girls Club and here locally. So there's a lot of organizations. So thank you all for doing what you're doing, because at the end of the day, we're all just helping build better communities, right? Better young people, young kids. And again, December 5th is our annual toy drive. If you want to support, let us know.
Please come.
Lucy will be there.
I'll be there.
Where's it at?
It's going to be at Spoon's Restaurant. It's going to be at Spoon. It is a private event this year because of the limitation of space. So if you want to come out, you definitely have to reach out to us, and we'll have to see if there's availability. But if you want to donate directly to her, we'll connect you with her and her organization and help you continue to help what she's doing and her cause and her mission with these children, which we're all just part of that group of people trying to help her. And that's really what it's about. Everybody's got a story, and whatever that story is, it is what it is, but let's continue to help people that need us, right?
Thank you.
And these children need us,
grateful.
right?
Thanks. They all need us. Yes. Thank you. They all need you guys. I always say, like you mentioned before, your blessings, my blessings is your blessings is their blessings, and their blessings is your blessings. So it's just like a little circle of life. It's
my old saying is very simple. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And let me tell you, I just want to give a quick shout out to your mom and your father, who's looking down at you from heaven, and say they've raised a great person.
Thank you.
Shout out to them, because we didn't get to go into a little bit about her and her. We got into the whole orphanage and the program, But, thank you for what you're doing, Lucy.
Thank you, Johnny.
And
Thank
God
you.
bless.
I will tell my mom that you said that. She really likes you too. Yes, I do have an amazing mom.
Shout out to the mom.
Yeah, she's an amazing.
I want some
She's
chicken
beautiful.
mole.
I love her.
Chicken mole, por favor, señora.
She makes a bit chicken mole too. Thank you,
Look
Johnny.
at Paul's like, bring me some
Yeah.
chicken mole.
Why didn't we bring anything today here? Again.
I'm pretty
Well-
sure my mom is listening to you.
Well, Lucy, continue all success. Thank you for all you do. Thank you all for tuning in, folks, again to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And continue to view us, share the video, share the story, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, there's another reason, as if you need one, to tune in each and every time to meet our community and the amazing angels that live amongst us here, doing God's work here. Our community is your community here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.